Hi, Mira.
Good morning or good day for you.
Yeah, well, you can still say good morning. I'll say,
For me, it's early morning, so I still in
oh,
the time zone.
where are you?
I'm in Toronto.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's 6:30 here.
Oh my God, you're an
Thank-
early bird.
uh,
Lucky
y-
you.
you're how my day will start.
Oh, yeah, great. Great to start, I gotta say.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to do that. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of information what we're doing, so you know what you're kind of signing up for.
Perfect.
I'm an artist and storyteller, and I've been working in communications for decades now. And this is a project that follows a couple of other projects related to women and just doing power differently, meaning women from interdisciplinary backgrounds are joining forces. And we have been building a network of women that are really working together, creating together, healing together on a global level. It started as a passion project because, we all face different challenges. I've noticed that women, as they're aging, they're being pushed out of the system in a way, or if they need to change a career, like you usually function in a silo, it's either technology or finance or art, and it's very hard to make those interdisciplinary connections. So this is an art project and a networking opportunity. So I'll follow up with the invite. We only have certain seats in the castle. So we're very excited to work with PwC on this project and Elfi Tours. So your video will be part of a larger art exhibit.
Okay.
So it will be displayed in the castle, but it's also part of a master's project that I am pitching to the university to show that women can connect and do power differently.
Okay, cool. Sounds great.
So that's it. So the way we're going to do it, I was just hoping for you first to tell me your story. I've looked up, you have an impressive career in digital and just being at the forefront of innovation. So
Yeah.
if you can share how you got there, who you are, that would be amazing.
Okay. So I'm Laura. I'm a rather energetic and creative individual, I'll say. That's how I'll define myself. I'm an architect and an actress by training. But I always was like very like finding the need to do something else than just studying. Like a studying takes too long and you don't get to experience life. So I was always working and studying at the same time. Um, uh, when I was like, I think 27 years old, I lived in the States in Chicago and working as an architect. But there, I got in touch with the entrepreneurial world, with the startups, and I got just fascinated about it. So I started like self-learning on the topic. And at some point when I finished my major, I decided I really wanted to make a career switch and give innovation a try because that was like my passion. Back at the time, I had lived in not only in the States but also in China, and there I also got in contact with the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So I came back from China. I left my architecture background somehow behind, and I immersed myself in the innovation ecosystem. How I did it, it was hard at the beginning, as you were saying. It is hard to transition careers, especially I think when you're an architect or a doctor, like something that people tend to think it's very isolated discipline compared to the rest of the world. But I was really committed, so I decided to volunteer yeah, in a innovation event that took place in Madrid with the sole intention to be hired afterwards. Luckily enough, that happened. And so that's how I managed to start my career in innovation. And since then, I've basically been like navigating it in a way that was rather like unlinear or even informal or chaotic, if you wish. Because I think I was trying to understand within the innovation ecosystem where was it that I felt I could add value. So I worked in ecosystem enablement. I've been mentoring the startups. I worked in scale ups. I worked in corporate innovation. But luckily enough, when you look back, it's easier to connect the dots. So I kind of now have a complete vision of what innovation entails. And I've also get to recognize that I need to be part of generating innovation. Like I don't enjoy just connecting others to innovate, but I need to be an active part in the creative process of facing something new and creating it from scratch. So when I realized that, I worked at a scale up, Spanish scale up, education Spanish scale up. They had right launched, like they were specialized in school and like kids schools and universities. But after the COVID, many corporates were looking for innovative ways to train their people. And so I was challenged to take on that role and build the whole corporate vertical from scratch. And I think I did quite a good job with a very generalistic perspective. Like, I don't think I was very specialized in product and marketing and sales, but I kind of coordinated all these players to form a team that was able to scale that vertical to 7 million annual recurring revenue in just 3 years. So that was good. And at that point, I realized that, I had been operating under self-learning. So I decided to pursue an MBA to sort of solidify and understand the foundations of business and being able to be a better professional and have better discussions. Also, because, at this moment in life, I had interactions with a lot of C-levels and real like big executive roles. I've always worked hand in hand with CEOs, but sometimes because it's CEOs of small companies, they are more visionaries than managers. But at this point, I was kind of like working a lot with more, let's say, formal executives that also knew a lot about management and their different disciplines. So I understood that there was a limit that I could enroll in a conversation with them because I lacked certain knowledge. So I did my MBA. And while doing that, I like one very interesting project crossed my eyes, which was to create a venture studio, which is, long story short, a company that creates companies. It was like the AI hype, and yeah, this opportunity crossed to detect market opportunities in which AI could generate like a real value. So I enroll in this project, and well, I mean, right now, like many things happened as part of this project. The CEO and founder decided to pivot and pursue one single venture. That is not really my thing, not something I'm completely passionate about. So right now I am looking for a transition into, I won't say the corporate world, but into bigger companies and kind of feeling prepared to deal with greater challenges and in bigger companies that have more budget, more responsibility with the skills that I have right now. But in the meantime, while I'm trying to understand where and how to frame my expertise and leadership capabilities, I'm like helping this company. Um, uh, that's the venture build that I was part of evolved into to make their first steps and secure some funding. That is basically my life story and what I'm doing right now, professionally speaking.
It's interesting. I really like what you said because quite often we feel that it's chaotic. We truly do, all of us.
Oh, yes.
Because I've been on the corporate side, then I opened my own agency. So it's very chaotic, right? I've been to the ecosystem, I've created technology. Uh, but at the end of the day, it's actually part of this is your career
Absolutely.
development, right? You said something that is you said two hype things. One, it's innovation, because we use that word I love communications and how we use those words, but it has become almost overused in a sense. You
Okay.
can correct me if I'm wrong, but and yet we still see it. We still see new things coming out. We still see people coming up with creative ideas, changing society, changing culture. What is innovation for you?
For me, innovation is daring to think differently, but not. I always say the same thing, like you can maybe build a t-shirt that has three sleeves. Is that innovation? I don't think that that is innovation really, because it's not truly serving a purpose. But I think that sometimes when I enroll myself in conversations, like for example, recently at a simulation at the ESE, the school I studied my MBA at, we were like getting the roles of different people from the United Nations, like representing different countries or industries, trying to reach an agreement to reduce CO2 emissions. And it was crazy because if you only looked at the industry how it was right now, it was impossible to reach an agreement. So I really think that innovating is understanding that the way things were designed at a point in time belongs to that point in time. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best way of doing things. And so if there is a reason for rethinking them, I think I actually see it as a responsibility, like we need to move on and evolve like things to make them the best version just yet. So
Mhm.
that is what innovation means to me, I guess. Like
Mm.
of using your creativity wisely to enhance the world how it is today and the lives of people. That's to me what innovation means, I think.
Mm, I like that. And I really like, we're going to do something similar during the Alchemy of Women, actually,
That's
where
awesome.
women will kind of go in groups and talk about real things and how they can influence, because all of us are change makers, right?
Yes.
And when you connect with the right people in one room and art, we hope miracles happen. um,
Yes, I agree.
you mentioned you're an actress.
Yeah.
That was the first thing you said. I
Yes.
love, it's funny when I do these events and I've met some executives, very interesting people. But what I realize, they like to lead with the art. The moment you open the conversation about the artistic part of us, because I believe we have to balance. We can't always function in the left or entirely in the right side of our,
I
creative
agree.
capacity. How do you balance?
Well, actually, I think it came naturally to me. Actually, I'm a gifted um, woman, so this means like my IQ it's high compared to the average, and as part of my intellectual profile, I've always been like really good at analytical part of things like math, physics, and so on. But I've also been a very creative person. So actually, my life story when I was a child and I well, a teen, and I had to decide which career path to pursue. I wanted to be an engineer, but it was my environment, my teachers, my family that persuaded me not to abandon that creative side and to do like maybe architecture. They like suggested that I studied architecture because it was a combination of both. To be honest, when I started, it was like to me it wasn't pleasant at all because I mean I like the creative side, but I mean I was frustrated. I really wanted to. I was a lot interested in like the math and all that. But over time as a person, I've evolved and my interests have moved from the purely analytical thing more into the creative side. But still, I think one good skill of mine is that I'm able to always balance them both. It's like, I think I don't feel like I need the creative side, full stop. I cannot work in an environment that doesn't imply me using my creativity. But if it's, only thinking on ideas but never translating them into a system that can make them come true, I don't feel happy either. And if it's purely like numbers, spreadsheets, and stuff, I feel that you jump into the math fallacy in which numbers seem to validate things that are more complex than just pure analytics. So I think, to be honest, that in my case, it is not really a huge effort, but kind of my nature. Although being like that is not an easy task in terms of how you present yourself to the world. So I would say that's where the effort has come to me. Like, kind of balancing when you're with people who are very analytical, trying to make them understand that I'm not only a creative, and when I'm with people who are creative, that I'm not only analytical. So I think that's where I've struggled and needed to work to balance that.
Yeah, I guess it's also part of that journey, right?
Yeah,
Finding
yes, so yes.
finding the alchemy in life. If
Yes.
because the whole idea is that how do we define success, right? And all of our careers, and we obviously that's how the system works. We have to make money when we live in a capitalist society, so that's part of it. If you can define success in the future being your future, we're not talking distant future, that's very utopian,
Oh,
but
yeah.
if you can be part of something that's defining success differently, how would you frame that?
Okay, well, actually, I think success is too frequently tied to money, as you said. Uh, to be honest, I really don't care about money. Besides when I struggle to pay something, or when I want something that I cannot
Yeah.
because of the money. But right now, one thing that I've learned is that money is also part of my definition of success. Not the only one, not the most important one. To me, success is about uh, it's about freedom, like freedom to do what I like, where I feel I can, like, let my own potential flourish. That is really what has guided my ambition. I'm very ambitious, not for power, not for money, but I always think that I can do more, I can do more, I can do more. That's a need that I have. And I think that the time when I feel what I'm doing is aligned to what I can do and pushing me a little bit, I think that is when I will think on success. And now I incorporate the money part, which is also that when doing that, I am generating enough value as to receive a fair payment for that. Because I like over time, I've learned that if you work for people who are willing to pay X to someone and you are being paid X divided by two, then even if you don't care about the money, it is your duty to push yourself harder, ask for that, and if you want, donate that other half to whatever cause you're interested in. But I think it's part of my responsibility and my responsibility as a woman to not let that go and make sure that my work is valued and it's paid fairly.
Thank you for saying that. I think this is a big issue still because we,
Definitely.
uh, there's no woman I have met that is not a multi-talented, beautiful creature, and most of the times they undervalue themselves,
Yeah.
including myself. I am so guilty of that all the time.
Totally, but I think, I mean, I have a book pending here. Where is it? Well, it's in Spanish, but it's called The Gender of the Brain.
The
So
gender of the brain. I'll write it down.
yeah, it's really hard to find it. Actually, the author is Spanish, so maybe it's not even translated into Spanish. But it's a book that I want to read because I really have observed throughout my career or come to conclusions about women versus men, how they behave at work. And I mean, maybe that's not so true, or maybe it's all based on culture. So right now I'm interested in understanding if really the brain works as differently as for us not to be motivated by money and therefore never asking for money as much as guys do, who I think they're better and more competitive in terms of stuff that it's very
Mhm.
objective, like what's your payroll, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's also the conditioning. There's so many complex. There's another. I'll recommend the book to you. It's called How Women Rise. Uh,
Okay.
have you heard of it?
Nope.
Very good book, like this one.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll take a look at it.
yeah, it's been part of some of the events we did. It is actually one of the books that inspired me. As a takeaway, it said research shows that women would apply for a job that they have to be fully qualified. They have to
Yeah.
be studied, experienced, and on the other side is women get promoted on experience where guys get promoted on potential.
Exactly.
Where we can do it, as you said, I know that I can step in. We're motivated by the challenges. We want to overcome the challenges, but we quite often pull ourselves back.
Totally. To be honest, I have my own theory. I feel like, historically speaking, it was men who worked, so they shaped the work environment to what worked for them. And now it is hard for women to adapt to something that has just never been designed for what we are good at, or what we can like provide. And I mean, statistics say that businesses that are managed by women, especially in startups, are like, I don't remember the numbers, but like I are a lot less probably less probability of failure and like more sustainable over time. So I mean, I think that speaks of a complementarity that nature gave us, in which I think there's still a pending task in transferring that into the work world.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And the other thing is like not to approach it as victims because
Oh
quite
no.
often we say, yes, it's true. We've 500 years of witch hunts and then medical experiments on women in the
Yeah.
19th, 20th century. We just won voting rights, now they're being reversed. But acting from the victim mindset is not what's going to get us out of this.
Oh
So
no, I completely agree. Yes, I
I think
completely
it's the connections, and that's why we're doing this.
agree.
Laura, I am so grateful for your time, for sharing your story. I'm going to
And
send you an invite. Hopefully, you can make it. I think it will be a very unique experience.
thank you.
And I look forward to meeting you in person on
Okay,
the
great. Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye bye.
You, Mira, you too. Bye.